Alright everybody, what's going on? Need some more drums back in City Skylines 2 for a fun little challenge episode. We're going to see if we can build a city with no cars. Let's go ahead and get started. Alright guys, as you can see, just jumping into the game here, I made a few edits to the, I think it's like the Archipelago Haven map. One of the vanilla maps, obviously, because we don't have modded maps yet. But yeah, this is kind of where we're going to start our, just not even a series, it's just going to be probably just a little episode here. Just a challenge that I want to see if we could do. You know, they provided some car-free infrastructure in the base game, and I'm always, you know, curious sometimes to kind of see how the game works with some of these, you know, unique little challenges, and it's fun to challenge ourselves too and see if we can build something a little bit out of the ordinary. So what I've done is kind of flatten out some of the terrain here to create like this little nice buildable area for us. Nothing too crazy, but at least it's nice and flat. You know, we have good access to the water, and I rebuilt the highway a little bit too, just with this one interchange, and then actually dragged out the train line so that we can have some rail access in our starting area. Aside from that, you know, we have everything pretty much unlocked, no money or anything. I just want to see if this is going to work. I mean, will it? I have no idea. We're going to try it out. So the first thing that we're going to do is set up some, you know, pedestrian roads and see how those work. And so it does say, if you check them out here, it does say that service and delivery vehicles will still be allowed to access these roads, which was my one kind of concern when I thought about doing this. I didn't know if we would be able to actually have a real car-free city, because we would still need delivery trucks and things to, you know, be connected to roads, and then the buildings would have to be connected to those roads as well. But it appears that that does not need to be the case. I think we might be able to make a city with, you know, with just kind of the pedestrian streets, but still have some industrial zones and everything on them. However, I do want to say this as well. I don't want to just have people walking around everywhere, right? So the part of having a car-free city is still having some sort of infrastructure to get people around. And so I'm wondering, you know, if we can use some buses or even some trams. We have some tram roads here that we could use, and we can replace existing roads with them. And I do not know, we're going to find this out, I don't know if we can do it for pedestrian streets. If we can have pedestrian tram roads, that'll be like a win-win. And the buses, you know, these seem, yeah, I don't think that we can upgrade, you know, any roads with these, so these might have to be their own. Maybe we can use some buses for some long distance travel, some trans as a more a local way of transportation. So anyway, I'm excited to kind of try this and see how it works. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off. We're gonna let's think here for a minute. What do we want to do first? Well, I think the first thing that we do is actually make a little bit of a grid of where we want people to go. So let's go ahead and just get that done. That was easy. Nice. And while I know these are pedestrian roads, we are still going to need a way for people to get into the city, which is why I've connected it to this avenue. And so what I'm going to do here is actually just make a little bit of a roundabout if we can. And that works. Cool. So that way people can kind of get in here and just, you know, have some straight access to the pedestrian roads. All right, so that's going to be kind of the starting grid for our city. And then I'm also going to have a little bit of, let's do something like this now. So we have the road network where people can walk around, and this is where a majority of our residential and commercial is going to sit. And now let's see about industry. And so for industry, I don't think that people are going to want to walk all the way to the industrial zone. So what I'm thinking is we're going to have some sort of bus network that will take people from, you know, this side of the town all the way kind of over here. And I'm even thinking about building a little bit of like a seaport or something on this side. So let's go ahead and make this bus network, and just see if we can use one of these bus only roads, and see if we can make like a sort of like a shuttle service is kind of what I'm envisioning. So let's see if we can do something like that. So it actually looks like this needs to be connected to some kind of road, and it looks like, can I connect a bus lane to one of these roads? It looks like I can actually have buses go along these pedestrian roads as well. So that might be kind of interesting. Yeah, so this will be kind of like our dedicated bus transport lane, and we'll have this kind of keep running along here. Maybe have it come to a stop over here somewhere. So this is where we can zone out some industry, and then I'm even thinking about putting a train station over here as well. So let's go ahead and get a couple of these things done. All right, now just for now, I did want to put a road there because this is going to be quite a bit of distance for these, any kind of truck traffic to travel to get, you know, deliveries from the cargo train station into the city. So I figured this might be a little bit of a quicker route. And I actually realized I could just maybe do something like this if possible and see if something like this will work instead. We'll see if people actually use that route. And if so, then that'll be pretty cool. But, yeah, we'll wait a minute and see. But yeah, so right now we do have a passenger train station. We have our cargo train station. We have our rail yard. And I think we are almost ready to start bringing people into the city because this would be pretty much all that they need. And I don't really want to do boats just yet. Let's wait and see, you know, how this kind of develops. But before we do that, we also need some power, which we can probably just opt for something a little cheaper. Definitely don't need nuclear or solar. I'm going to say maybe just some wind power might be adequate for kind of what we're going for here. And I'll see if we can kind of put some of this in a better area, maybe right along the coast here. It seems like will be a fantastic spot for some of this. The nice thing about these windmills is that you can actually just run some power cables to each one like that really, really easily. And then if we just have a little bit of a transformer station, actually we don't even need a transformer station, to be honest. We can just put the power lines directly to the road. So that is even better. However, we do need a transformer station if you want to sell our electricity. And I think if we have some extra, you know, why not? Let's go ahead and put down a transformer station anyway. And then we can just run that power line right there like that. So now we have our power set up. We have our infrastructure set up. We don't have any water though, so we need some of that. I say we just put down where's our groundwater at? Ah, so we do have a nice supply right here. So why not just put a water pump right here and we can have a little bit of a road right next to it. And then since we're not using any money, let's go ahead and just put down a wastewater purification plant. Got a perfect spot for it over here by the rail yard. Look at how nice that worked out with the way the grid is set up. That is perfect. All right, so we have that all ready to go. We have water pipes all ready to go. And I think the last thing that we need to do is put down some garbage. So we could just have a landfill. We could, you know, have an incineration plant. I wonder if we can actually put down one of these instead and be a little bit more environmentally friendly. I think the answer is yes. Why not, in our car-free city, try to aim to be as green as possible? All right, so now we have some ways for people to get around. We'll do the public transit network a little bit more in a minute, but for now, let's go ahead and start putting down some zones. I say we start with some low density, maybe a little bit of medium density row housing, but I don't really want to go for any of these super high density zones right at the moment. I feel like that is a little bit overkill for what we're trying to do for right now. I'm going to just put down some of these, see how they turn out. Now I want to have Most of this be residential. We'll have some commercial kind of by the train station. I think some industrial over here and some commercial over here as well. And maybe right here, I'd kind of like to put down some kind of park, you know, maybe so people can get to and from the industrial area a little bit better. So let's go ahead and actually do that right now while we have it on our mind. And then we can, you know, use some pathways. And since I don't actually like the grass that comes next to these anyway, we can just surround it with a pathway. All right, so now that we got that put down, let's go ahead and actually start with some zoning. So like I said, we'll have some residential mainly over here, like so, and then we'll zone a little bit of commercial as well, kind of along the what will be, I guess, the main road here. And then I assume that we'll actually have some pathways kind of bringing people into this bus lane. Because what I want to be able to do is make all of these some connections. People can actually walk along this, and then we'll hopefully have some bus stops along here as well, so people can actually get the stop on bus route as opposed to just being, you know, having to pick up the bus on the pedestrian road. And also that means we'll have a few less stops on the bus route, and then we'll probably have a tram line that runs through here too, so people can get around a little bit easier. We'll add a little bit of industry over here. And I think now we'll go ahead and press play. So zones are already popping up, which is good. Don't know how these train stations are going to function and stuff here. Where I'm just very curious. I kind of want to give this some time and just kind of let it run. But I also just remember that we probably need a few more, you know, regular city services to make this very effective. So I think, you know, fire station, we're definitely going to need one of these. Might as well just go ahead and put one down. Same thing with a police station. And also some form of healthcare. We're going to need a clinic. Let's go ahead and place one of these. That just fits absolutely perfectly right there. All right, so we're getting tons of delivery trucks coming in now. They're importing some goods to the cargo terminal that are eventually going to be shipped out. Seems. Which is interesting. And I'm still waiting for a train to come in here. I don't know how train stations work in this game, to be honest. I haven't really put any down yet. So I wonder if they'll actually... if we'll get some trains from outside the city bringing people into the city. But for now, I think what we should do is actually make our tram network. So I'd like to kind of have it run all the way to the industrial area and probably all the way over here to the treatment plant, since, you know, the bus may not. Actually, the bus could probably get all the way over there. So maybe we'll see here. But I think what we should do though is actually make the tram line kind of around here and then around here like this, so it'll serve as kind of a nice loop, get people to and from some of these areas. So let's go ahead and just plan this out real quick. And we do need a tram depot, which of course takes up a ton of space. So we'll see if we can fit this somewhere over here. I think we can actually fit this right here. That might not be a bad spot for it. So let's go ahead and yeah, why don't we just do that? And look at that, we can actually upgrade the pedestrian roads with a tram track, which is awesome. That's exactly what I wanted. So let's just drag this around here. I don't really like to go through the roundabout, but I guess in this case it's fine since there probably won't be a ton of traffic here anyway. What is this guy doing? Driving on the pedestrian road and on the public transit road? What is going on here? Yeah, they must not have anywhere to go. So let's go, or any other way to get there. So let's give them another way to get there. Actually, we're going to upgrade this tram track. Let's have it go around this way as well. And there we go. So we have the tram network ready to go. So let's go ahead and put down a couple of tram stops. And I'm thinking, before we do that, let's actually connect this road up here like that. Then we can actually have another industrial zone over here. We'll even go ahead and make a little bit of a pathway that connects this up to the tram track like so. Let's go ahead and just put down a couple of tram stops. So I'm thinking one would be good right about there. Kind of going down the line here. What are all these people doing? Driving on the roads. These are supposed to be pedestrian friendly streets. Look at this traffic. Oh my gosh. What is going on? That is not supposed to be happening. Let's see if if it's just because people are just moving in. I wonder. But if that's the case, then I don't know if we're gonna be able to do this. Alright, so I got our tram stops down. Let's go ahead and make a tram line now. And that is not a bad little tram route, if I say so myself. And at least if people get off at this stop, you know, they can just walk over and go right to the train station. So now we need to get our bus route going. And did I put down a bus depot yet? I don't think that I did. No, I did not. So let's go ahead and do that. So I wonder if we can put some of these nice bus shelters here too, but I don't really want to put the buses really on the pedestrian streets. I want to kind of keep them off of the pedestrian road. So let's see if we can do something like that we can do like a quick little bit of a shuttle service in a way. And I actually, you know what, maybe we will have to put some on the pedestrian road, which is fine. Not exactly the route that I wanted, but I think it'll work for now. So let's see. So it looks like once people have kind of moved in here, there doesn't seem to be as many cars driving on the street. But there are still some, which kind of makes me a little bit sad, to be honest with you. But I don't know. I guess it is what it is. And it doesn't seem like people are actually coming in on the train yet either, which is interesting. I'm not really sure. We have to build some kind of special intercity train. Doesn't really, I didn't think so, but it's the only options we have. But I guess it is what it is. Yeah, I don't think we can make a rail line to an outside connection. I don't know how that, oh, I guess I can. I guess I do need to do this. Would you look at that? So it does look like you actually have to make outside connections with trains. I did not know that. Well, you learn something new every day. So it seems we'll do the same thing with the cargo route. Yeah, so now we're getting some trains on the line, so hopefully that's all that we needed to do. But yeah, I guess for now, let's expand the city out a little bit and see how this comes along. And it looks like we're getting, you know, we're getting a little bit of progress here. I can't complain. There's not a ton of cars anymore, except there are still a few, and I don't really know why. But I guess we'll just keep going and see if we can make any improvements to this at all. And the cars are still just pouring in. Maybe people just have personal cars that they use when they move in. But I don't know. This is not looking very promising, to be honest with you. Like, look at this guy. Is this that's not a taxi. It's got a muscle car. Yeah, well, let's just let the city run for a minute and see if it changes, because I've done a little bit more development and yeah. Let's just see what happens. Stay tuned in a second. All right. Well, so it looks like I've been playing this for quite a bit. Spent, a little over an hour just kind of letting the city run on a faster speed and doing a little bit of expansion, but still just kind of at a natural pace. And to be honest, can you make a car-free city in City Skylines 2? I think the answer is kinda, but like not really. So for whatever reason, I mean, there's still tons of vehicle traffic. I say that right now, like when there's like no vehicle traffic, but like trust me, all right, during the course of this episode and while I've been building this, there hasn't really been a moment where there haven't been cars on the roads, especially like once a train comes in and stuff. I think I got to think of a better way maybe to allow people to get rid of their cars at some other point instead of having to drive them to their house, because like as you'll see though, a lot of people have this parking garage that's completely full apparently. So it seems like people will park their cars somewhere else. I mean, look at all these, just look at this road. I mean, it's just full of cars everywhere. So I'm not really sure if it's built into the game where people will choose not to own a car. But by the way it looks now, it just like, it just seems like people will own a car, but just not, access it or something. But people still have cars parked in their driveways here, so I don't know if they'll, like this guy, is he driving his car to work? Yeah, he's going to work. See, so I mean, it seems like people will still use the pedestrian roads for car traffic, even though they're pedestrian roads. Yeah, but so I was just curious, to see if this would work, and it kind of does. As you can see, like there's not really a lot of cars on the roads right now, but a lot of these are police cars and service vehicles and buses and things. And so I guess it's kind of working, especially if you provide enough public transit, people will still get around, and you'll see like I added another tram line over here to get people like kind of around this high school, and like another bus line out this way as well. And so there's plenty of ways for people to get around, and I think I guess at the end of the day it's not a total loss, because the city is still functioning really well despite not having any regular roads. I still have a lot of demand for my zones. I still have, an industrial area. I still have all this going on here, and the city it's functional, right? So, can you build a true carless city in City Skylines 2? I think the verdict is not really at the moment, just given the amount of resources that we have available to us in the game. But can you build a functional city with only pedestrian roads? I say, yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it turned out all right, and there's a lot of people walking around, and yeah, it seems like it's actually it's working better than I thought. So I guess I changed my mind. I guess you really can build somewhat of a car-free city in City Skylines 2. Just maybe once people kind of move in and get settled in and stuff, and I think I'll have to build another parking garage somewhere for all these people. But yeah, I think this was an interesting experiment, and I encourage you guys to kind of do stuff like this with the game. Have fun with it, build weird and unusual things, and challenge yourself to really see if you can design something that is still functional despite having some kind of restriction like I have done here. So yeah, this was a lot of fun, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you back in the next episodes of my other series and stuff. But stay tuned for some videos like this once in a while. I like to throw in these random builds and everything every so often. It's fun, and I got a few ideas for a couple more coming up, so stay tuned. But in the meantime, have a great rest of your week, and I will talk to you guys in the next episode or video. Yeah, see ya.